And play is just underway here between Team Prince Edward Island and Team New Brunswick, U19 men here at the 2025 Atlantic Rugby Championships. Here are Maritime Athletic Profiles, Dan Hobson, Matt Melanson, and the rest of the crew here. Delighted to bring the call here in this one. Team New Brunswick is going to be in the black, green, and red. Prince Edward Island in the green and black.
Oh, we just had a feisty, close matchup in this division, Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. So we've got two teams here that are looking to force themselves into that finals discussion as well.
Now we just got off a very intense, close matchup between New Brunswick, Newfoundland to see if these teams can match up and make this a very entertaining contest, just like the last one. 24 degrees the temperature, feel like of 28 degrees, but no dark clouds in the area, so couldn't ask for maybe a better weather day, maybe a little less humid, but 28 humid X feel like temperature, that's not too bad compared to being in the 35s and the 36 like yesterday.
Certainly. Settle in for our first scrum of the match here, see if either team's got a advantage there.
Send it down the field level here in the early going.
You got to be further down. Shoulders make me question. Seconds in. Point! Yes. Hold now.
PEI under a bit of pressure, but able to produce the ball and get a bit of front foot.
Near the midfield stripe. Hand.
Yeah, just a little disorganized with the scrum under some pressure as people were figuring out where to go.
Once again, we'll send it down field level.
Set. Hold. Oh, green.
It seems like PEI with a bit of a shove here, so perhaps if both teams are evenly matched, just even the hooker putting their foot up to strike, maybe causing a bit of disadvantage to the attacking team.
That's YN LaBouche, number 22 here for New Brunswick here. The ball carrier stopped and a steal by PEI. William Kent, solid game yesterday. Leland McClellan. The sound of flesh hitting each other as they bring it up to the New Brunswick 10-meter line. Options here for PEI. To the outside.
Nice swerving run there.
That's Noah Potter. He was a reserve yesterday, but a good run. A little confusion there, McEwen. Pulled down near the 22. Simic with the handoff. Kent again. And a knock on, so.
Intentional
penalty, sorry.
Intentional knock on possibly if it was made cynically with the idea to spoil the play of the attack. There we can see Noah's run, or yeah, he's able to kind of swerve and find people off balance.
Tap and go. And on to go. McKenzie. Mason McKenzie. rewarded with the try here for Team Prince Edward Island. We saw some of McKenzie's magic yesterday in their first game, and it was a hard-hitting contest for him. He was just showed lots of intensity and lots of speed, and he's brought that over into his game here today. And as you see, he gets it down. Legier not in time to bring him down. Crowan Legier out of Dieppe plays for the Moncton Black Tide, member of the UNB Reds. From distance.
Flag stay down, but that was a great strike from that distance. Got it up in the air, gave it a chance.
Was it? As I say, it basically depends on what sideline, what the wind is doing. Like, I just looked down there, our near sideline, close to our broadcast location. It wasn't moving, and over there it seems to be a little bit more moving, a little bit more blowing from end to end.
Yeah, it can sort of swirl here. I don't know.
As we're back underway, the reset. McKenzie, who just had that try here for Prince Edward Island, on the ground, up for grabs. Collision there between 12 of Prince Edward Island, Max McLeod, and Jack LeBlanc from New Brunswick.
PEI sort of passed the first test. They recovered the kickoff. They retained that. But yeah, weren't able to string too many faces together before they've given up a fairly strong attacking platform, middle of the field, just outside the 22. New Brunswick will have a lot of options here. As you can see, the 10 and 15 are stacked behind the scrum. Both centers are there as options. Of course, the 8, 8, 9, both
set
offer you lots of options.
Down.
Justin's gone
Loose
right to the penalty for the
down.
Going straight down there.
Yep, that one didn't. That was a spinning kick, sort of an end-over-end kick.
Yeah, a little bit of knuckle in that
Flutter,
ball.
yeah, definitely a lot of flutters, a lot of spins. Just shy of the midfield pitch. Line out with Prince Edward Island's Leland McClellan to inbound. Approaching 8.5 minutes, and Prince Edward Island with a really great start. McKenzie again.
It's a well-executed lineup by both teams. Well contested at the front. Accurate throw. A great offload to get that away.
Inside the 22 of New Brunswick. Prince Edward Island pressing again. And New Brunswick holds them up for the meantime. Back outside the 10, Kent. And options, McClellan was one of them. They're just happy to swing it to the outside. Max McLeod with a kick well up into the air and whistled before the New Brunswick and a few PEI players in the area to make a catch on that 50-50 ball.
PEI players were slightly ahead at the time the ball was kicked. The referee team got that communicated in, and so we'll have a penalty kick.
Goes into touch. And almost into the bar area. So a line out for New Brunswick with Kai Williams here to inbound. Kai Williams is from St. Stephen, New Brunswick, plays for the St. John Trojans, was selected for the Rocks Wales Tour earlier this year.
Yeah, Kai's been a great player for many years for these Spruce teams. So he shows off his scrum half skills there.
High kick that's received just in between the 10 and the midfield stripe by PEI. Brex McLeod.
You can hear a free one from the players as they're on advantage. Nothing coming there, so we'll come back on the high tackle advantage.
Mason McKenzie difficulties and quick transition here for Prince Edward Island. William Kent. Back outside.
Scrum half
Brex
able to get the
McLeod.
ball away, yeah.
Into the New Brunswick 22. New Brunswick having a little bit of penalty here that's PEI sort of taking advantage of and going down the pitch.
Yeah, a few high tackles in a row, and Justin Roberts gone to the pocket early to try to sort that out. And now giving the captain the option.
So Wyan Bouchane was into the game, has checked out here for Team New Brunswick. With PEI once again on the march. Less than 10 meters away from the try line, looking for their second.
Yeah, I feel like a broken record, but impressed with the standard of line out across all divisions that I've seen so far. Teams are happy to take.
And McKenzie in again.
They're happy to take lineouts when they're offered to them. They've got strong options and accurate throws. It's making for some interesting games. At sometimes the lower levels, a high school game or something, and the lineout is really almost pure chance. The throwers and lifters are just learning, but when it's such a big part of higher level rugby, it's a great attacking platform. So happy to see that part of the game developing here.
Take a look at it, just like the thing is that McKenzie's got the jets. So we see that yesterday. It was just like 1-2, and he's off to the races, and that was the case in point.
Yeah, and when you're in that area of the field in that situation, you're really expecting that you're going to have to commit a lot of resources to stopping the line-out drive, and if everybody's flying in like that, and easy pick off the back.
Got distance.
Flags.
Flags
up.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Had to have a quick chat about who's got the
that was a
determination.
very impressive strike.
Yeah, he had some big distance on that. He seems like
Yes.
he's going to give himself a chance from almost anywhere on the field.
Well, that's like you have that in your back pocket. That has to really help you when you have like a kicker that can kick from long distance. Because I mean, you get into like a low-scoring affair, and you're not getting an opportunity from the try line. To have that in your back pocket, that's definitely an advantage here to have.
Yeah, I mean, it helps. Obviously, it helps in so many ways. If it's a low-scoring game, and 3 points could be the difference if you're going to win, 8-5. But as the scores creep up, consistently hitting conversions, that starts to add up really quickly. Once you're scoring 4 or 5 tries, the converts make the difference of a whole other try or 2 tries sometimes.
Took a couple of New Brunswick bounces that PEI has to gather it up from near their own try line, and they'll bring it out to midfield. Caught on the run there by Cabral Soares, who's tried to reverse direction. Cabral Soares
done really well to get that away while he was being hit.
Still has it now, hands it off, and the release quickly over Jack LeBlanc inside Charles Begley. Begley with some tough yardage here for New Brunswick. Could they get a sustained drive here, trailing by 12? Brought down by midfield. Kai Williams looking for that loose ball. Jacob Earl into touch.
Yep, that kick's gone out on the full. They're outside the 22, so it's going to come all the way back to where it was kicked from.
Send it down to field level.
Find!
Giddens over to LeBlanc. Pierce Brunel. Brought down near midfield. Tackle there by Hunter McLean for Prince Edward Island. They're calling for the penalty.
See the hand signal from Justin. He's gone off his feet in pursuit of that turnover. He wasn't supporting his own body weight. So
back 10 for PEI. Brunswick trying to get a good drive going. Just a little bit shy of the 22, but so far the best field position here for Team New Brunswick. So we're coming up to the 17-minute mark. With the sun kind of gone away and maybe a little bit of a breeze, it feels pretty cool. We had like a water break for the last game, but nothing so far here. But it's also in the referee's discretion, Matt.
yes, we'll see. It seems like, yeah, with the breeze and the cloud cover, that maybe they're not going to go that route. I might go get somebody to move that giant cooler off the field to play. Dawson, could you get that big white cooler back?
Well, I said it at the start today. I mean, we have a little bit of a newer audience here with New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island. It is that you are really doing a fantastic job, and it's a juggling job, not only like calling matches, but making sure everything's going for a tournament as smooth as possible.
Well, thanks, Dan. I mean, the organizing committee's been doing a great job. Blue Nose RFC and Mark and Dougal and Sarah, the whole team at Rugby Nova Scotia. Yeah, it's a team effort, but appreciate it. I think our referees, we've highlighted a few times, but I think our referees are doing a fantastic job. Mike Dickey is doing the organizing and assigning, and they're got their points of emphasis and reviews, and I think they're helping build the standard. The play is at a high standard, and the officiating wants to match that, and I think it's doing that.
Owen Lurd bringing that down for New Brunswick. Midway between the 10 and their 22. LeBlanc, Jack LeBlanc. Not much there for the meantime.
Not happy with the release within the tackle is Justin.
Just as soon as I said about the wait to see if this is a official water break, but it's just a conversation with the referee and Team New Brunswick as of now. But now there will be a little bit of a water break as we have an injury on the field here. Yeah. I'll get a chance to take a look at some of the action that we've seen so far. Hoping to get a number there for the injured New Brunswick player. We'll get that in just a couple of seconds as we continue to watch some of the action here. And with no hesitation, not just going to the bench, they're going to go get him checked out. And that's Jacob Earl from New Brunswick. And this guy's been the player of the game so far for sure here for Prince Edward Island. Has both tries. Mason McKenzie. Physical player, using a lot of the stiff arm. And he's had a lot of touches here in this one. And of course, when you get a lot of touches, you're getting opportunities for tries. And he's got the 2 for Prince Edward Island. And
yeah, he's got a great ability to get low, to get his shoulders low, not let people get under him, and it means that most of his involvements are going to go forward. It's a great job peeling off the side of that maul. Justin whistles us for time back on.
and just a couple of meters past the 22 for this line out. And once again, sound like a broken record, Leland McClellan to throw this one in here for Prince Edward Island, up by 12.
Brunswick front jumper did a good job to time that. The whole lift and jump unit didn't get a great lift, but they were reading out the fakes and the timing.
McKenzie again pushing his weight, pushed off tacklers, and he's got 3 here in this one.
Yeah, very explosive runner, and yeah, a few bump offs. And I think, yeah, not compromising the body position when he's going for the bump off or when he's going for a stiff arm, whatever it is. He doesn't end up high and not able to be driven back. Yeah, once he decides to turn upfield, he's very direct.
Saw this from his game yesterday, but he's moved up to the 3 spot, and he is just taking advantage here for.
Yeah, impressive to see a prop kind of turn the centers around for pace and put them in bad positions, and then is able to use the strength advantage that you'd expect a front row forward to have over the backs.
There's the doink.
We might need a doink counter.
Get the little dollar side and
yeah.
Doink. There it is. You didn't happen to record that there for like future playback, did you, Dylan?
I did.
You did. Okay. We may use that. We may not. May, as in, has a 98% chance of it happening, of not happening. 2% chance. So it stays 17-0. Reset underway. Fielded near their 22 for Team PEI. Leland McClellan brought down. They'll swing it back. Bring it here to the near side, and a collision there. Max McLeod sort of felt that one as he was going upfield for Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, William Kent there, not worried about a size mismatch, and finishes his run pretty aggressively. Gets a bump off. And as soon as you're getting one defender out of the play, it really opens things up for you. A second defender has to come in and help the tackle, and there's a knock-on effect of that all over.
So they get field side for this scrum here as we're into the coming up to the 23rd minute.
Credits to Justin. If he's unhappy with something in the front row, he's going to the penalties straight away, looking to keep things on track.
Tap and go for New Brunswick. Giddings. Tough goings for Giddings. Swung over, done. Jack LeBlanc. Something going here for Ababa. Daniel Ababa getting his first touch and making the most of it. He picked it up near midfield, driving it past the PEI 22. Big hit. As Fair felt the boom of that one. Fair from St. John, also a member of the St. John Trojans, a member of UNB as well. Wearing 16 here for UNB, for Team New Brunswick. Easy to say when you get UNB in your head for the U to come out, but Team New Brunswick. Parker done.
Does a good job there, not being overly greedy. He knows he wants to get his team a good chance here to set up their driving lineup, but need to be accurate with their kick.
Aiden Severett and Ethan McIntyre checking in for Team New Brunswick. Ethan McIntyre from Fredericton, a member of the Fredericton Loyalists, and Ethan McIntyre plays for the Mount Allison Mounties as Atlantic University Sport Football. Aiden Severett from St. John's attends St. Francis Xavier University, is a member of the St. John Trojans RFC. Up goes Gabe Arsenault for it.
That was a great looking line out. Attacked the back. Had a little peel off the back.
Gabe Arsenault from Fredericton, New Brunswick, and just newly into the game, Severett. So New Brunswick with some pressure here, their best possession. This is the deepest they've been so far. Severett pushing would-be tacklers, and one of them is Noah Potter, number 13. Bagley. A little bit of traffic direction here by PEI. Ethan McIntyre. Can the Mountie get it over for the New Brunswick team? Backed up. Fair.
There's all that to have the ruck in very close to the same place, but playing under penalty advantage. So Justin will provide a new mark for them.
New Brunswick top and go. Severett. But not quite. A little bit too eager there. Just blown down.
Chat is.
Yeah, let's send it down to field level here.
Oh, well, whatever it was a result of the penalty being
Shoulder.
overturned.
Is this good here for the mark? Okay.
Best drive for New Brunswick has come to an end as it's kicked into touch.
A great spiral kick. Got them lots of territory from where they were.
So it gives them a little bit of breathing room, and they're back on the go, up by 17. And approaching the 28th minute. Leland McClellan. Done unfairly, says referee. So
Yeah, they've updated the laws that the line out needs to be contested in order for the straightness of the throw to be material. So Justin feels like if that throw wasn't so crooked, that front lifting pod would have had a chance to steal it. So not straight's the call.
Down for the scrum we go. That was pretty much a good morning, good afternoon, good night on that one. Then the knock on there by New Brunswick. Won that scrum easily, but then had the knock on it. Tough break there from the New Brunswick team.
Yeah, I mean, I think the theme of the weekend has been that theme of the game in general, teams that can maintain possession and apply pressure building phases are always going to have an advantage. So, yeah, you'd like to see your possessions last a little bit longer.
This time, pretty quick scrum won by Prince Edward Island, and they've got some room with it. Trying to get past the 10 to the 22 on some run here by Noah Potter. Noah Potter takes off from his own side of the pitch and scores the try 5 for Prince Edward Island.
He's had some great attacks, like we say. I mean, some people when they change direction, it's very aggressive, very hard cuts. He seems to be able to keep his speed up and swerve and keep people off balance without having to slow down too much to make his cuts.
As we watch it here on the replay.
Yeah, the scrum under some pressure, but they're able to get it out and then just let your athletes have a chance. Confident enough to keep his foot in the gas here and kind of shake that tackle off. Call that a try scorer's try.
John Fragem here to try to kick this convert.
Flags
up, so it's good. And look at that, the quick couple blows there from the referee takes us to halftime. Team Prince Edward Island up by 24, and they have just seemed to be, since the opening start here of this one here, Matt, and they have just carried it on throughout a solid 30 minutes for them.
Yeah, you don't want to discount the team effort, but a few individual bits of brilliance there from Potter and McKenzie. Your team needs to be maintaining possession and allowing you to do that, but some great moments of brilliance and very athletic play, so great work by Team Prince Edward Island.
All right, so we're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with second half coverage in just a few minutes here from Windsor. This is the 2025 U19 Senior Atlantic Rugby Championships on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Team Prince Edward Island leading as we get ready to kick off the second half of this men's U19 round robin portion of the 2025 U19 Senior Atlantic Rugby Championships here from Windsor, Nova Scotia, on the grounds of King's Edge Hill School, established back in 1742. Dan Hobson alongside Matt Malazza and the rest of the Maritime Athletic Profiles crew. And Matt, it was definitely an interesting halftime there for New Brunswick. A lot of really frustration and a lot of motivation there, and trying to pump their team up to try to get back into this trailing by 24.
That was a big counter ruck there. But yeah, New Brunswick, you tell, looking to keep their tournament hopes alive. A little bit of soccer being played.
Well, it used to be in the days when you were playing out in the elementary school at recess. If you were playing soccer and it wasn't going your way, they changed the sport to rugby. Was that ever a case for you?
Oh, yeah. I think that's probably how rugby got its roots.
McKenzie.
Looks like, yeah, he's done well to stay in there. And
he'll get it down. What's better than 3 tries? 4 tries for him.
He's got the bonus point by himself. Yeah, he's done well. I think we'll get the closer sideline angle, maybe on the replay. But, yeah, he's done well to keep his balance and still throw out a stiff arm while he's doing that. Yeah, he's having a whale of a game.
There's the replay as you see.
Yeah, stiff arm bounced off while he's very near the touchline, and sometimes when the space only allows for one player to have a chance at that tackle, and if we could get your stiff arm off that one, then you might be off to the races. We've got a Rugby Nova Scotia reunion happening on the stairs in front of us. Our executive director, Vanessa McKinnon, off on maternity leave, brought her baby to visit with our past president, Chad Mahoney, and local legend, Olympic silver medal winning coach Jack Anratty, now with the University of Ottawa, is here for the weekend, taking in, I think, still his favorite weekend of the year, the Atlantic Rugby Championship.
Speaking of legends.
And Mike Kavanaugh's come to join the party. The stairs are the place to be. The
VIP lounge with not very VIP-like sort of seating, sitting on concrete.
Little
figure they may take the cushy chairs that are inside the King's Edge Hill and bring them out.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to work with Jack Hanratty in the past. The last time the championships were in Truro many, many years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he hasn't forgotten the little people, but, yeah, he's off to had a pretty fantastic few years, jet-setting around the world, and finishing off with a silver medal finish in Paris. A lot of space here for Prince Edward Island to use, but also the breakdown's been slowed and turned over, so they won't be able to use it.
Jack LeBlanc looking to get something going inside the PEI 22 here for New Brunswick. Robertson brought down a hard tackle. Following up there, managed to get a few more extra yardage there. McIntyre trying to kick it up. Parker Dunn. Ethan McIntyre, no stranger to piles there. As we said, mentioned playing with the Mount Allison Mounties football team.
Ignore them, please.
PEI called for the penalty. They get it into touch, but they didn't really get much in terms of field moving up the field a bit. It's sort of like when it first left his foot, it almost looked like this may be going backwards instead of forwards.
Yeah, I think maybe the wind feels a little bit different, but it feels like it's coming towards us, which would be opposite the direction that he kicked it, and it felt like the further direction. So might have been more territory for them to come this way. But if they're happy to take the line out.
Looking to try to break that goose egg. As Tyler Robertson comes up with it.
Yeah, it's a nice line out move. Pop back down to the thrower.
Declan Duffy has to really sort of go backwards there and used his backhand to try to settle down the ball on a pass that wasn't really easy for him.
The arm out for not rolling away.
Couple of fakes there by Giddings as he will try to use a stiff arm. I think PEI might have got a steal there. Not quite, but blown down nonetheless.
Oh yeah, let's see here. I think you guys at home will get the audio before us, but
Discipline, please. Okay. Otherwise, I need to escalate. Just hold.
Happy to throw it to Jack LeBlanc. Jack McKinnon now. Tough yardage here. New Brunswick threatening. Best chance so far in the game for them. Try to get that 0 off the board. Ethan McIntyre. Bagley runs into a green and black wall. Yellow card.
yeah, sometimes it's not necessarily the severity of the action, but the proximity to the goal line. You know, commit a penalty this close to scoring is preventing a team from playing the ball or not rolling away, and the penalties can be stiffer.
So going off is Ryland McEwen there for Team Prince Edward Island. A man down, New Brunswick threatening. Best chance of the game. Tyler Robertson. Shy and pushed back.
The clear out came there and got rid of one Prince Edward Island player, but the result was that the ball was available for Prince Edward Island.
And we've been talking about McKenzie with 4 tries. A big defensive play there for number 3. Kicked out. Out of the PEI 22, McIntyre. Hands off, Goosen. Duffy.
Another yellow card. Justin's unhappy with the rate of penalties that are coming, and the cards will continue until morale improves.
Now 2 men down.
Tip.
That's Caden England going off.
So an unconventional looking kick, but it's done a good job. Probably about 10 meters out for this line out.
Trying to remember in my years if I've ever seen a team 2 men down.
That's not the most common thing.
What's that?
It's not the most common thing.
No, it's not. I think this is my first time. Yeah, 2 men down. So let's set it down field levels.
Teams, okay? So let's slow it down. Take a breath. Take a minute to talk to your teams. Okay? Thank you. Time's off right now. Time's off. Just. Yeah, I mean, that's 2 yellows right back to back. So. Okay. Let's go, please.
So he gave the time to allow the teams to talk because he basically said it while talking to his other official with him, saying, "Well, that's 2 yellow cards. I've had it out a short amount of time." So
Yeah, he's saying he's got to give the teams a chance to react, but that the penalties will either continue or perhaps have to get stiffer if teams don't stop committing penalties, especially down this close to scoring. You've got to stay disciplined.
Severett, who's the emotional leader here on this team. Legier out of Miramichi. Pardon me, out of Dieppe, played for the Moncton Black Tide, a member of UNB Reds. My apologies on that one. Memory starts to blend in after a few days. You have a funny feeling that with being down 2 men, this is pretty much New Brunswick's best chance here to try to get some points with a couple of men in the sin bin. And they're going to take advantage. As getting it down for the try is Jack McKenna. Jack McKenna with the try, making it 29-5.
Yeah, New Brunswick will look to build some momentum here, string some more possession together. I think just in the way that Nova Scotia and Newfoundland were expecting to see each other again on Sunday. If that matchup were to materialize, then this would also be the bronze medal game. So again, I think New Brunswick looking to make sure the score is close, and they show PEI that they're not going to roll over.
Flags are up, conversion good. 29-7. Version made by Parker Dunn. So get ready here for the restart. So we've talked in this about composure and maybe not trying to rush, but this is a really golden opportunity with 2 in the sin bin here for New Brunswick. So obviously it's an opportunity here to try to take advantage in such a short amount of time. Does it change your game plan knowing that, or do you still have to play your own game? But on the other hand, you have to hurry because this is your best opportunity to get points.
Yeah, I think you can't be frantic, but you can within the bounds of your playing style, you can do more things like opt to play quick. You can rush to set pieces. As the team that's wanting to keep the ball in play, and you kick for touch, you can run there and get the line out set nice and early so that you maximize what we'd call ball in play time, the time that, if this is not ball in play time where the ball's gone in touch, then the hooker should be pressing the issue, getting the ball, getting the line out set. You don't have to wait for the defense, so if your team is there ready to go and get play going again, that might buy you an extra possession, maybe an extra 2 if you're quick in and out of your set pieces. Or if you maybe opt for the tap and go just to keep the pressure on, not allow if the play is continuous, you even can make the yellow cards a little bit longer because you're not letting the game stop to let those players back in.
Up goes Robertson. New Brunswick pressing.
Same play as last time with the pop back down to the thrower.
Duffy.
It's worked well for them.
Goosen. Giddings. Try to get to the outside, have a little bit of a numbers advantage here, New Brunswick. They've brought it to the middle of the pitch. Follow up by Goosen. Goosen has it. Had options. McIntyre was one of them. There's Duffy again. He's getting those big tree trunk-like legs going here for New Brunswick. Goosits. Kai Williams. Ball loose, covered by Prince Edward Island. And kicked out of harm's way for the meantime, but right there, Johnny on the spot to catch that one as Cabral Soares.
That's a lovely kickback. That's going to apply a lot of pressure.
It's basically almost like no man's land, like the trap right along that sideline with just no place to go.
Yeah, that's the only bailout that New Brunswick couldn't do there was to commit a penalty. You know, you've allowed a player to recover the ball, 5 meters out from the sideline and 5 meters out from the goal line. They're in a tough spot. You just can't get too excited and go off your feet or go for a turnover before your teammates rolled away and allow them to relieve that pressure.
They get a little bit of breathing room as it's sent up to their 22 on the kick into touch for the line out for Prince Edward Island. It's been Leila LeBlanc that's have been doing the throw-ins here. We'll see if that's a case in point here. And up with Zach Craswell for Prince Edward Island. But it's McIntyre's. And once McIntyre gets going, he's hard to bring down there.
Yeah,
but a great substitution here for New Brunswick. Kai Williams. Sorry.
That's all right. There was a heads-up play by Ethan there to almost take the pop off the top of the other team's line out.
8-7. Taps and goes.
Looks like the ball came loose here.
Yeah, before he could get it down.
Knock on in goal.
Down to field level.
Goal line. Okay.
Yeah, so there's explained that
it's a
knocked on in goal, but
the
also
arm up is not for the try; it's for the time off for the player on
injury
the
there.
ground.
That the
Yeah. Space, please.
Yeah,
New
that's
Brunswick AG is
Aiden
gonna come
Severett.
Yeah. Water is allowed.
Favor at his shoulder for the meantime. And the penalized players have returned here for Team Prince Edward Island. And also substitutions for them. As Yoshi Hashiko is checked in. In the meantime, Aiden Severett, who did get up on his own feet, but is going to go make his way to the medical tent here at King's Edge Hill to get attention. And Hachijo will get us restarted from his own try line here as the play is blown in. Freshly into the game, and we'll get this started and wants it right in the hands of Duffy. So we're even strength now. Back outside, Parker Dunn. Jack McKenna, who's got the low tried, takes a couple of tacklers with him in the process. On the release, Kai Williams on the run. Receives the pass, but nothing really there. McIntyre taking and getting it closer there. And Prince Edward Island called for penalty. So New Brunswick has options to see if they maybe give it to McIntyre. He's going to try to tough for them to stop, but they'll go to the outside here. Parker Dunn. Numbers to the outside. Ababa Ababa. Just shy of the mark for the meantime. Back out. And the try rewarded there for
I think the referees are having a discussion.
Yep, they're going to talk first. And now it's awarded. Gets along that far sideline. Hard to see for our vantage point from where we are as we take a look at the replay. They just tuck it in there, that inside flag.
Yeah, assistant referee Chantal Brewer's got a great vantage point there. Was happy with the grounding.
Well, Rugby New Brunswick, the bench was happy with it, thinking before they talked it out that was the case in point. Trying to make it a 15-point game. That will be short of the mark, and it'll keep it 17-point deficit here, 29-12. As we come up to the 50th minute, 10 to go. And New Brunswick would look like to be out of it for a while, starting to make it a little more interesting, but the clock not on their side there, Matt.
Yeah, and like you say, in a tournament like this where I think these teams expect to see each other again, you just want to give your best effort for the last 10 minutes and finish knowing that you're in the game.
Hajijo with the restart here for Prince Edward Island. Jack McKenna going backwards more for Team New Brunswick. Kick upfield, spinning kick. Saunders looking for it with a Prince Edward Island as it goes into touch.
Yeah, some interesting kicking decisions by both teams there. I thought perhaps the sort of high knuckling effect might have made the catch a little bit harder for PEI, but they seem to be able to deal with it okay.
Leland McClellan. Right into the hands of McIntyre. He was sort of directed traffic, and then just as he was finished his wave of directed traffic, caught it there on the line out for New Brunswick. Giddens got that off the side of his foot, takes a New Brunswick bounce and gets it himself. And a penalty here for Prince Edward Island will back them up 10.
Yeah, it looked like there was a chance that ball was coming loose, but the penalty being committed sort of overrules.
Tapped by Giddens. Pass on the ground, being kicked around. And New Brunswick called for penalty. Hachicho will start it on the tap and goal. Mason McKenzie. Best run of the afternoon for Leland McClellan from Prince Edward Island up near midfield. Hajijo will kick it down, and that takes a friendly Prince Edward Island bounce. Thank you very much.
Quick transfer. That was very athletic by all the players involved.
Pierce Saunders will take it in and may put an exclamation point on this one for the try here for Prince Edward Island. New Brunswick got a lucky bounce on their end, but couldn't be able to score. PEI gets it. And handoff, and Pierce Saunders takes it in the rest of the way and puts it down. And a chip shot there from Hajijo. So 6 and change left. 36-12. And New Brunswick, knowing that time is not on their side, quickly trying to get up there to get this restart going. Doesn't quite go the full 10, of course. As the time is ticking off here for both teams. Be a scrum right exactly at the midfield stripe. Well, you were talking about this possibly being like a bronze medal matchup, and definitely like New Brunswick wasn't probably a great first half for them, but the second half has been a lot better. They made it close. They put pressure. It caused some penalty trouble there for Prince Edward Island, and they made it close. But I think that last try has just, basically put this out of the reach there. But,
yeah,
definitely a very good second half, a growing, learning second half for them.
And I think that's a great point that you highlighted. Sometimes people think, well, that team committed their own penalties and got themselves in trouble. But if those penalties are a result of pressure, then you can still take them as a bit of a win for your team. So, yeah, overall a much better second half. And
Simic with a good run here for Prince Edward Island, followed up by Ryland McEwen. Well, sometimes when you're in like sport, it doesn't matter whether you're talking rugby, soccer, baseball, football, any type of sport, is that you have to take it like in small chunks there and say, well, let's just put that first quarter away for New Brunswick, and the second one there, this second half has been a really bit better one for them.
Yeah, exactly. The game is, a collection of discrete events, and you feel good about those short moments of, if you can plug those moments together, then you're going to feel better over the course of the day.
Hachijo was going, and that's blown down as we're coming up to just about 3 and change to go. Remind everybody, we'll head down to field level following this match and talk to Mason McKenzie, the player of the game, with 4 tries here for Prince Edward Island. We'll get him. We'll wrap up this broadcast.
We've got New Brunswick medical Leon DeRoche coming on to support a player. I mean, a huge thanks to all the medical staff and ATs that are here supporting teams and keeping the players' best interests, health, and heart.
Waiting to see if we can get a number to pass along. We're very hesitant before we start giving information online. Let's take a look at some of the action that we have seen.
Yeah. Anything to get that one going ASAP.
And gets applause here from the faithful. And a lot of players making their way over to the medical tent in this one. So Jacob Earl will check back in for Team New Brunswick. We're set to get it going again. Kicked into touch with authority. With just about near the New Brunswick 22. For this line out. PEI happy to take their time here. It's a minute and a half and maybe a little bit of injury time added here. That was to pass, nobody in particular gathered. That's scooped up by McIntyre. McIntyre dragged down. Duffy's been given some solid minutes as well here for Team New Brunswick. Giddens brought down by a shirt by Team Prince Edward Island's number 2, Leland McClellan. So 50 seconds and change. New Brunswick maybe just try to make it just a little bit closer. Giddens with the kick, but right to Civic for PEI. Maybe take it down to field level for the last time here in this matchup between the two teams here. Well, having technical difficulties with that, so we'll have that rectified a little bit later. There's New Brunswick. Giddens, solid effort from him. As we're into injury time, up to midfield there, Kai Williams. Giddens again. Kicked up there by Parker Dunn. Right into hands and easily booted out by McLean. And that will do it. Team Prince Edward Island with a 36-12 victory. It looked like they were going to be off to the races. New Brunswick have a better second half to make it close, but at the end of the day, it is New Brunswick falling shy here in this one. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go down field level and talk to Mason McKenzie here from Team Prince Edward Island. So as the teams shake hands, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more from Windsor at King's Edgehill. This is the 2025 U19 Senior Atlantic Rugby Championships of Maritime Athletic Profiles. And welcome back to King's Edgehill School here. I'm here with Mason McKenzie. Got a question for you. What's better than 3 tries?
4.
4, yeah. So what's been working for you? You had a stellar game yesterday and then to come away with 4 tries. Basically, was there any one that really stands out in terms of like play you want to recognize when you describe all 4?
Not really. It just helped that switching up, and my team was really useful for because my team helped me out a lot because like they'd bunch up and then you pass it wide, or if they're on, because we have a lot of fast backs, it forced them to stay out and create a lot of gaps to easy shoot through.
Yeah, so this was a very good effort. It looked like you guys were going to be off to the races, but New Brunswick sort of bounced back. You got into a little bit of penalty trouble. Talk about the adversity that you had to face there in that second half.
Yeah, the penalties definitely did us because the boys were getting a little rowdy towards the end, getting us a lot of cards and everything. So we were all hyped and everything, but we had to kind of bring it back down and like calm down. It's hard to do in the middle of a game because you're just going and going, and it's hard to calm down and like get back into the mental state to not be doing dumb shit.
Yeah. So tell us all about yourself. How did you get into the sport?
I've been playing contact sports like football for like 10 years now, or 10, 11, and I really enjoyed them. And I know rugby was through the schools, so I thought I'd give it a try, and I did really good for my first couple of years, so I continued on, and then got invited to camps, a couple different ones, invited to new teams and stuff, and just continued to play, and it was really fun.
Anybody that has really sort of helped you along this pursuit, having this great championships that you've had over the last couple of days, is there any particular coach, player, mentor that has helped you, guide you in this process?
Most probably my football coaches. When I started off young, it helped me. They taught me a lot of respect and like about the sport and just the right mindset to have, like not to give up and stuff. And that teaching that young is really useful because there's players out here that don't know that, and then they get chippy, they get kicked out of the games, or they can't advance to higher levels because the coaches don't want them because of that. But I was taught that young, and I could pass it on to my other teammates and help them.
All right. Well, fantastic. Also, final question there. Talked about the 4 tries. How many times have you had 4 tries in a game?
Only 1 or 2. Not too many, but that was only school.
So this is the first one here at this level.
Yes.
Fantastic effort. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Mason McKenzie, 4 tries here. This one is PEI with a win over New Brunswick in U19 men's action. So for the entire crew at Maritime Athletic Profiles, my name's Dan Hobson. Thank you for tuning in, and so long for now.